What is up? It's Wednesday night, so that means it's Freshman 15 live. We're doing a little office hours tonight, and I have to cough immediately. My apologies. There we go. That's one reason why I went early, went live a little bit early. I'm just not feeling great, and I want to go to bed a little earlier than I would otherwise. Tonight, got a few things. We're gonna set Hoff's lineups, even though I did set most of them already. I do want to talk about some of the changes that I made, just because there are Wednesday night games this week, and I believe Tuesday night games start next week. So those auto subs are going to be due much earlier in the week than they traditionally have been in the beginning of the season. So I have Middlebrook's playing tonight. Is he scored yet? I haven't seen anything about it yet. He has 61 yards through the first and middle second. Okay, not bad. Excuse me. Goodness, this is gonna get annoying. I'm so sorry. All right. Yeah, so we're gonna set Hoff's lineups, and then we're gonna talk a little bit about trait C2C trading strategy, trading value, stuff along the lines of C2C trading. We'll talk about it for a little bit. I've got a 3-year-old tweet thread that I'm gonna bring up. That is, I still reference it like to this day, and we'll talk about it a little bit later. I think that's it. Let's get into it. Let's set some lineups, talk about lineups. Drones is locked in as my QB or auto sub one. I started Mestamaker and Liam Zarka. I picked up Liam Zarka everywhere I could this past week. I recommend you could do the same if you can. His rostership went up crazy. He's at 56% now. I'm pretty sure he was in the single digits last week and definitely the week before. That's what that meant. There we go. I learned something about fan tracks today. If there's a little gray circle with an arrow back and forth, that means they are on the team's trade block. So if you look at a different team's roster and you see that, that player's on the trade block. It's cool. Never noticed that before. Yeah, so I went with Mekhi Frazier against UCLA. I think we'll see if the vibes at UCLA carry them this week. They're pretty high, all-time high. But we'll see how they carry them this week against Michigan State. I did put Jacoby Williams in. They are playing Texas Tech is playing Kansas. That has the potential to have a lot of points in it. I don't know if it's actually going to, but it has the potential to for sure. I thought about Mayava against Michigan. I don't know. I would have to replace Mestamaker with him because I feel like Zarka is a must start at this point after what he's done the past few weeks. Yeah, Bo Sparks, he's still is he wide receiver? I think he's top 5. I'm pretty sure he's not 1. We are at year to date. Bo Sparks, he's not top 5. Oh Lord, he is wide receiver 18, I guess. Skylar Bell, wide receiver 1. I did not have that on my bingo card. Makai Lemon 2, Jordan Tyson 3, Danny Scudetto 4, Eli Heidenreich 5. Or wait, why is that? That's weird. Oh, it's okay. Yeah, he's 5. Chris Brazel 6. Jeremiah Smith 7. Hank Beatty 8. Chase Hendricks 9. Mario Craver 10. There's your top 10. according to, I think this is 1 point PPR. Let me make double check to make sure. But I'm pretty sure this is 1 point offense, receptions, 1 point. Yes, 1 point PPR. Yeah. So Sparks is, how many players do I have on? I have 20 per page, so he's 19 actually. The rank number is all messed up on here, so pay no mind to that. Let's look at the Tadpole Bowl. I lost last week. I'm not happy about this. This brings displeasure to me. Go back 1 week. I got hammered last week. I didn't just lose. I got hammered. Connor Wegman got hurt. Jeff Caldwell, whatever. Dane Key, a big old 0. Did he play? He had 2 targets. Okay, so he did play. He could have fooled me. Mason Minnie, I've been touting him all season, and that was like his first bad game. It was his worst game so far. I mean, and I had to start some of these guys based on buys and injuries and such, but I could have made better choices. Like, oh my gosh, I need to find my mute button. I'm so sorry. Control D. There we go. Hotkey. LaShawn Williams is probably going to start for me now that Highshaw. They said they're hoping to have Highshaw back by the end of the season, so that makes me try to get Williams. I have Williams in a couple places. I drafted him in a couple places, but he will be the guy if Highshaw is truly gone for sure. This week in the program, Nico. I'm going to start Nico this week, and Julian said I'm just going high vibes, and I got Mekhi Frazier and Maccabee here. Lewis Bond, he had a stinker last week. Yeah, he had a 3.4 last week. No, thank you. Dylan Riley. Okay. Yeah. I haven't been able to talk about him as much. Unfortunately. Let's see who else we have. I don't think there's anyone else I would put in that is actually playing this week. Okay. Let's go to the CFF only. I didn't start Carnell Tate in this league. I think I lost. I didn't lose by the difference. No, I lost by like 70. That was just a bad one again. Dwayne Coleman was the culprit there. Just nothing from him. And I had Zion Booker too. That's where I should have had 8 for Booker, which would have helped. 33 points would be great. And 24 from Veltkamp instead of Coleman would have helped, but I still wouldn't have won. So, not upset. It happens. We lose and we move on. I think that's all my lineups. Just talking over a few guys real quick. I want to spend the lion's share of this show tonight talking about C2C, specifically C2C trades and like how to value players, trading strategy. And and there are multiple strategies. I'm going to talk about the ones that I adhere to. So I'm pulling up a tweet thread from October 20th, 2022. And this is from a friend of the pod, friend of the show, Austin Nace, at Devi Dietz on Twitter. He is the creator, I guess co-founder is his title, official title, of Campus to Canton. So basically he's one of the guys that invented this whole format that we all play and enjoy. Um, so he knows a few things about uh, strategies and such. And he has 4 rules that he trades by. And also, like, he will say when he breaks them as well. I know he just did recently. He did an NFL for an NCAA only trade recently. And that's one of the rules. But the first, yeah, that's rule number 1. Never, I'm just reading verbatim. Never, ever, under any circumstances, ever trade an NFL stud for college players. NFL stud for college players only. It's a great way to end up with the shell of an NFL squad if the Devi assets you receive don't hit. It's safer to tear down and add Devi CFF pieces as a sweetener. So basically, the whole premise is there's one way to consistently build your NFL after startups are done. There's one way to build your NFL roster over the course of seasons, and that's from your college roster. If you're trading away NFL guys, NFL proven NFL point scorers, then you aren't, and you're not replacing them with some sort of NFL asset, or I would say some sort of NFL asset. I'll put it that way. You're really doing yourself even if you're quote unquote tanking in the NFL on the NFL side. Oops. Not right. There we go. Because there's no guarantee that these NCAA lottery tickets that you are basically trading your proven NFL production away for are going to return anything for you. There are some guys where you have an idea like, oh yeah, this guy's probably going to be an NFL player. Like I would say like Bijan Robinson, of course, is probably the easiest example. Like Jeremiah Smith now, even though he's still like a year and a half away from the draft. The half of this season and then the whole of next season still away. Trying to think. I would say Cam Ward wasn't really that before last season. So if you're like trying to get in on him early, I feel like that was still pretty speculative until he performed well at Miami. Yeah. So I would say I would put an exception on there. Like you could maybe trade for you could trade proven NFL production for guys like that, but also those guys are hard to get a hold of from the teams that already have them. Like you would have to do a pretty good sell job or trade away a pretty notable piece, I feel like, for people to consider trading that potential away. I was trying to come up with a like a hierarchy or a tier, maybe we'll say as a tier rating of different assets in a C2C league. And the value of each against each other. There we go. Um, and I think I would put at the top. I wonder if I can. You know what? Let's. Whoops. There we go. We're gonna have some fun tonight. I I didn't plan on doing this, but we're gonna do it. Um, Let me log in here real quick. I don't think it's on here actually. It's on this one. There we go. We're gonna do a tier list tonight. And we are going to. I don't even have values for these. So I'm going to. I thought that I could use. Well, you know what? That means we get to use Notepad, my favorite thing to use on my computer. We are going to do c2c asset value. All right, and these are my asset value. I have 5 things. There might be more than that, but I can only think of. I might be able to only think of 4, but we'll see. Okay, so let me put my. Oops. I want to change what I am showing. There we go. I'm going to share my notepad. Handy dandy notebook. There we go. Okay. And my top thing, I would say in a c2c league, if you are, I'm just assuming you want to win everything. And that may not be the case. If you don't want to win everything, if you don't want to win both sides, that's cool. That's your decision. But if you want to win both things, NFL production, I feel like should be your first. It should be valued above everything else. Is NFL production because it's so hard to get. There's so few players relatively that produce will help you win NFL games. And right behind that, I would put NFL potential. And you could call that Devi. Um, we would call that Devi. There we go. So that's why you see guys like Bryce Underwood, like before the season, Arch Manning going really high because they were viewed to have are viewed to have NFL potential. Because you only have, I'm gonna go down a little bit here. You only have if everything is in a perfect world in a C2C league, you have at least 3 years of college production. Oh my gosh. Production. I can't type tonight. From anyone you draft in college football. In a freshman supplemental draft, in a college startup, you have at least, well, that's if it's a freshman. It might be less depending on if you if you have a senior heavy team. There's a lot that plays into that. But like we're doing an ideal situation. So you draft a freshman and you have at least, actually it should be 2 years because they can go, no, sorry, it's 3. Sorry. And then they might get drafted. They might. I feel like this should be a flow chart, actually, but I can't do that on the fly. They might get drafted. So if they get drafted, you might get some NFL production. You might. So already, we're only 3 steps into like a career path, an ideal career path, where a guy has 3 years of production for our college team. And then he might get drafted. He might not. He might end up playing in Canada or the UFL or whatever. So his career could end here, right at step 2. It might end right there. But since we're doing ideal situation, they do get drafted. So if they get drafted, you might get some NFL production. You might. You might not. You might have a career backup quarterback on your team. Or you might have Patrick Mahomes. Less likely, but you might. There's a chance of it. There's certainly a chance of it. And let's see, you might get NFL production. So let's say if they're an NFL producer, if they are an NFL producer, point producer, I'll clarify that a little bit. Point producer. You might get a valuable, and this is a dynasty, dynasty league. So I'm going to say you might get a valuable dynasty asset out of it. So I'm going to separate these a little bit on the notepad. If you're on audio only, I will try to paint a word picture as best I can. We have 3 years of college production. Okay. That could be it. That could be the end of the we'll say 3 to 5. I think that's probably fair. 3 to 5. Most likely 3 or 4, but you have a couple guys that are like CFF that are 5. So it could end here. Like that could be it for that asset, for that player. That could be it. They might get drafted. So this is, let's put minefield right here. Boom, boom. So they might get drafted. Okay, cool. Okay, let's say they get drafted in the 4th round and they go to a team that they're just a depth player, like they're the wide receiver 5. Okay, well, is there really a path to production there? Oh, there's another minefield there. That's what there is. And they might navigate that very well. They might not. So if they get drafted, they might get some NFL production. They might not. What they have is another minefield. They have to break into that lineup. They have to play consistently. They have to produce consistently. They might get cut after the first year. They might be on the practice squad. Who knows? And if they do end up producing, and I'm not putting at like a timeline like, oh, they have to produce by the 3rd year. I'm not going to say any of that because that's kind of silly. But if they're an NFL producer, you might get a valuable asset out of it. Or it might be a guy, I want to say like Iron Williams right now. Like he has a couple good years, has had a couple good seasons. I feel like honestly, I haven't paid attention to my NFL teams that much this year. That's on me. So I don't have Kyron Williams anywhere. I do know that much. But if I'm going to use him as an example, he is the running back 8 right now. Okay, so he's still on a pretty good trajectory. He finished as it doesn't have their finishes on here. Oh, okay. Thanks, Sleeper. Cool, bro. Anyways, all of that to say, the production isn't like guaranteed forever. So there's a lot of risk trading proven NFL production, guys that have gone through all of these minefields and they're at the top of the mountain. They're producing fantasy points every week in some way, shape, or form. And you're trading those guys away for guys who might get drafted, guys who might get NFL production. They might actually get the opportunity to do that, because even if they get drafted, that's not always guaranteed. If you're comfortable with all of that risk, go for it. I personally don't feel like giving away NFL production for guys who might have NFL production. Guys help for guys who might make an NFL roster. Let's be real. Like, you would never catch me trading NFL production for CFF only guys. If you do that, I can't be in a league with you. I feel like there needs to be a bare minimum of understanding. And that's part of the reason I'm trying to talk about this stuff tonight, is just educate more, I guess, and help people understand like everything that's I've like, oh yeah, I'll definitely trade you looking for a player right now. I'll definitely trade you Arch Manning for Baker Mayfield. Straight up. Excuse me? You what? Are you sure about that? And I'll even be generous and say Arch Manning before this season, when he was touted to be the next the next great Manning in the NFL. We'll say that tag still applies, and it might still apply. There's still some questions that need to be answered before that. And on the other hand, you have Baker Mayfield, who is, I just went into my wrong league. No. NFL, please. There we go. Baker Mayfield is QB 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 right now. And he's also 30 years old. So, I mean, everyone retires, but I feel like he'll be around for a few more years. I can't recommend strongly enough, there we go, that you don't trade away NFL studs for college players only, whether they're good college players or not, because there's no guarantee that those guys will pan out in the NFL, and all you've done is weaken your NFL team, and you cannot save that through the NFL supplemental rookie drafts. They're so depleted. All right, that's rule 1. Rule 2. Let me go back to. Wait, here we go. I can't go back to it now. Okay, well, we can finish the tier list. Just to put a bow on this, the NFL potential was our second, and then I have NCAA production, and that is, I would call that CFF, and then NCAA potential. I would say that is CFF as well. I guess that's only 4 things. We'll just do potential for both. Now, if you can get someone, I'm going to put something in here that is very rare. If you can get NFL potential plus NCAA production, if you can get that, find those unicorns, and they're there. If you can find those guys, those are very valuable. And I love those kind of players. Everyone does. Everyone wants those kind of players that are going to get you a ton of points in your college league. And like I mentioned some names earlier, they're going to be playing on Sundays. There are very few of those guys, if we're honest. Like you can hype up the guy from your local school all you want. He's probably not playing on Sundays, or your favorite school, not necessarily local. He's probably not. Let's be real. If he does, he might be filling in at slot receiver because the guy in front of him got hurt and he's playing 3 snaps and he's seeing like a target maybe. Okay, cool. You got on the NFL field, bro, but that doesn't help me. So that's my little tier list. We are going to go back to the list. And let me find it. Here we go. There we go. Okay. So rule 1, never ever under any circumstance ever trade an NFL stud for college players only. Rule number 2. The easiest way to approximate an NFL for CFB trade is to figure the NFL player's value in rookie picks. I really like this suggestion, and it really helps. Like when I'm thinking about guys, like where they're going to come out in like a dynasty rookie draft, a normal dynasty rookie draft, like, oh yeah, he'll probably go 105 or 108 or second round, things like that. And you can kind of get a ballpark value from viewing players like that. And this, again, this is 3 years old. So the example you gave is you think Deontay Johnson is worth a first and a second. Now look at your trade partners' rosters and find players who equal that value. And let me also say, a freshman supplemental first is not the same as a dynasty rookie first. It just isn't. And also, it's helpful to view because the NFL rookie draft in your league is not going to have these players available. They're already on your roster in the league. So that's why you got to kind of look outside the c2c format for like mock drafts and stuff to see where these guys are going. Okay. Okay. And rule 3, CFF only players should generally be moved for supplemental freshman picks or as sweeteners in other trades. Here it is again. Don't trade NFL players or Devi assets solely for CFF producers. You're just hurting your NFL team. And again, if you don't care about your NFL team, cool. But you can also like set yourself up to make both of your teams. It is possible to win both sides of your league. A lot of people don't want to put the effort into it to do it, but it is certainly possible. And I would like to see more people do it because most leagues you have like 2 guys or 3 guys or gals that think they know Oh yeah, I know NFL great, and they just go hard in the NFL startup draft, and they trade all their CFF picks away, and they get a crap CFB team, and their NFL team's great. But when their guys start getting old and they don't have quality coming in from their CFB team, it starts to get a little dicey. Um, but a lot of people don't try to win both sides just because I don't know why. I don't know why people don't do it. Um, and the last rule, if you can, set your league's market. If your CFF team is not competing, making it first to market with your CFF squad means you set the price for you and everyone else for the rest of the season. Be aggressive but willing to negotiate. Yeah. I I have nothing to add to that really, but that's just I feel like that's good general fantasy practice. Um because you don't want to ask for too little. Like so that be aggressive at the end. Yes, I will no, I won't say never. I will very rarely take less for a player than what I think they're worth. I don't think you should, but I think there are also exceptions you could make. But also getting offered a an NFL player or getting inquiries about NFL players and guys only want to give college players. That's I don't like that. There are very few exceptions where I would say, okay, I will trade this NFL guy for college guys. And I know we talked about him earlier. Um, yeah, that is, those are my trading thoughts. Adding on to Austin's trading rules for C2C leagues, because it is, I feel like that's the hardest part. Other than the waiting. Thank you, Tom Petty. It's just so hard to value players and the startup thinking about or sorry, not startup, thinking about players in terms of values with rookie picks, like normal dynasty rookie picks helps. Um, I don't think there are many players before Bijan came out, he was 101, like locked in. And you would have to trade before he came out, I would say you would have had to trade Bijan and a couple other players, maybe another NFL stud to like get Pat Mahomes, who was still or not still, who was um very productive around that time, like QB1, QB2 in that area. Um yeah, I think that's it. If you have trading questions, let me know. I have my Discord DMs are full of, oh, should I trade this guy for this guy? Who should I trade for that guy? What about this trade? What about that trade? And honestly, guys, most of them you're getting offered crap. And I'll tell you, I have no problem telling you, you got to ask for more because guys will offer, oh yeah, I want let me just pull up an NFL player that is on my team. Um I have Puka, nice on this team. I have Kyler Murray. Oh, do you want John Mateer and Jordan Tyson for Kyler Murray? Um, not really. I mean, I would consider it for a second, but I don't know. I would not accept that. I feel like that's a good way to permanently take your NFL team out of any running, any competitive place. And like I said, there's a million, not a million, but there are a lot of different strategies in C2C. And I would, mm, I won't say I would prefer, and sometimes you're unable to compete on both sides as well. Like sometimes you just can't, sometimes you get a bunch of injuries on one side or the other. It's a little, it's a tricky thing to manage both teams. And that's one of the reasons that I like this format so much because there are a lot of ways to win and there are a lot of ways to build rosters. There's really not a lot of ways to build your NFL roster because I feel like there's a lot of what do they call for the stocks, like diamond hands for college players. Like, oh no, this guy's gonna be a great NFL player. Like, you don't know that. You can't say that with any conviction. You're full of it. Just because you like that guy as a college player does not mean he is going to be a productive NFL player. It doesn't mean that. A lot of people conflate that idea with or conflate those two thoughts. Like, oh, this guy's going to be so good when he's playing for the Carolina Panthers. Like, is he really? What if the Browns draft? What if the Browns draft Carson Beck? Are you as high on him now as you were before he got drafted by the Cleveland Browns? No. So save that stuff, man. It just grinds my gears when people act like they're CFF asset or CFB players are like just preordained to be NFL studs. Like, come on, get out of here with that nonsense. I had to get a little worked up at the end. That's all I have this week. I'll be back on Saturday evening. We'll be live 9 p.m. I'm not sure if Nate's going to be with me or not. I'll have to check with him. But I'll be here at the very least. And we'll be doing our CFB review as usual. Think what else? Nate and I are working on a video for the main YouTube channel, youtube.com/Dynasty Rewind, by the way. We are ranking our top 5 receivers of the 2026 class. And I know we did a mock draft maybe about a month ago. It's even if you're just like a dynasty NFL guy, it's good. It's a good practice to at least be familiar with the players that could be making up the draft pool come springtime. And I'm sure you'll hear a name, and I'm not saying this video that we're going to do specifically, but at some point, because we're going to do, I think, each position, I believe. I'm sure you'll hear a name come draft time in your rookie drafts next year. You're going to say, oh, I don't know who to take here at the 203. Oh, there's that one guy that I heard Nate and Hoff talking about. He got drafted to a good spot. Yeah, I'll take him here. And his ADP might be 3rd or 4th round. But we were high on him, and I'm not saying that like our opinion is the end all be all, but it's just more information to add to your repertoire. So that video, top 5 wide receivers, and we don't know each other's rankings, so we're just gonna go in, and it's gonna be good, like honest reactions when we're giving our list. So I'm looking forward to that. Yes. And then I've got waivers on Sunday. I think that's it. So I wish you luck in your leagues this week, and I will see you on Saturday evening. Have a great Wednesday night. Enjoy the rest of your week, and I will let's watch and talk some ball on Saturday night. Have a good one.